So here we have a multi-layer switch and it's inter-VLAN routing in between the different VLANs, and we are using here multi-layer switch, and in between we'll use one access layer switch. If we are not using, also no issue. Can use. And use for this different switch. So there will use one, like how many pieces you need, how many you can take it. Okay. Same IP addressing, and it's 192.168.10 dot. It's a 10, and this is a VLAN 10. It's VLAN 10. And this one is VLAN 20. And it's a VLAN 10. And it's VLAN 30 or 20. Anything you can take it. 29. So I haven't not assigned any IP addresses. We'll configure the MLS switch. It's important thing. Otherwise, we'll configure the access switch. We'll move next onwards. But config the interface fast Ethernet. The range is 0 by 1 to 2, and this is 3 and 4. These are the VLAN.
My charging also.
Zero by 1 to. Guys, mute yourself. Mute yourself. Sai Vamshi, mute yourself.
Frankly speaking, at me, I think I don't listen.
I only did. Switch port mode, access, and before that we'll create VLANs. VLAN 10 and name, HR, exit, VLAN 20, name, count, exit, and now interface range FA 0 by 1 to 2, switch port mode, access, switch port, access, VLAN 10, and exit from here, and interface range fast Ethernet 0 by 3 to 4, switch port mode, access, and switch port, access, VLAN, it's 20, and exit from here. Same, we'll configure the hyper switch also. So here I have taken the different port. So 2 and it's that 1, but it's 4 and it's 5. Okay. Make sure whenever you are configuring that, check the ports. Otherwise, you'll get the errors. Enable config the interface fast Ethernet range fast Ethernet 0 by 1 to 2, and switch port mode, access, and VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. I have not given any name. By default, it will take show VLAN brief. If you are giving the name, okay, it will be take. Otherwise, if you are not giving the name, by default, whichever the VLAN name, it will be take show VLAN brief. I have assigned here name, so that is the reason it is has taken, and port also assigned, but here not assigned. That is the reason by default name it is taken. So this is a reference part. So again, we'll configure the top of interfaces. We haven't assigned the interface, right? Interface range first Ethernet 0 by 1 2 2 and switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN and exit, and interface range is 0 by 4 to 5. So 3 is not there. 3 is top of that FA, and switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN 20 and exit from here, and interface first Ethernet will configure the trunk port also top of that interface 0 by 3 switch port mode trunk, and once it will be down and then it will be up. By default it will happen whenever you are configuring this trunk port. Show interface trunk is this command, we can verify it, and here we haven't assigned. So configuration of trunk port interface Path Ethernet 0 by 5 support and switch port mode trunk. Done. The entire things is done. Now we can close also, no issue for this switches. Now move to the multi-layer switch and give no command here. By default configuration not required. So it means initial configuration means we have to line we have to give the configuration. If you are giving SE here, initial configuration, we have to line by line we have to configure it. So that is the reason no give the no command. Config T and interface fast Ethernet 0 by 1, and for that, before that, will configuration part will check show IP interface brief, will check the interfaces are up, but here we have to configure virtual interfaces, switch virtual interfaces SVI. So here we have to make sure how we are configuring the switch virtual interfaces. Check here config T interface VLAN 10 and hit enter. I have enter in virtual interface. I have enter in virtual interface. Now give the IP address. IP address of this 192 default gate 168.10.1 and 255.255.255.0, and no shutdown is not required. By default up only. You can check now show IP interface brief. So earlier we don't have the interface, but if the interface is down, we'll discuss why. But you can configure the one interface and assign the IP address also. So now you can check it. We'll configure same virtual interface for one node. Switch virtual interface VLAN 20 and IP address is 192.168.20.1 and 255.255.0. No shutdown also no required, and exit from here, and interface fast Ethernet 0 by 1 for this. So wait. So IP interface brief, and check here we have assigned IP addresses and configure as a trunk port. This interfaces as a trunk port. We have to make sure these are the trunk port, then only this port will be up. One more VLAN. So here you can check those. So config T interface fast Ethernet 0 by 1 switch port encapsulation. Wait, switch port trunk and encapsulation method here. Encapsulation and .1Q. This is the command. If you are try to assign So if you want to remove, just I'll remove, I'll show you something. And no, I haven't switch port mode trunk. If you are configuring likewise, it will be denied because before that we have to use this command. It will be rejected as an interface whose trunk encapsulation is auto cannot be configured trunk mode. So we have to use this command. We have to use first switch port trunk encapsulation dot one cube. We have another option ISL, and now switch port mode trunk. You can check now. Show IP interface brief. Now you can check. So still down, wait. So we'll configure another interface also. Interface fast Ethernet 0 by 2 and switch port trunk encapsulation dot one cube and switch port mode trunk. You can check the trunk is established and show interface trunk. So we got a trunk and we haven't assigned the VLANs. So now you can check show IP interface. So before that, we'll check the VLANs. VLAN brief. So here we don't have the VLANs. So once you configure the VLAN, then only these ports will be up. We physically we configured, sorry, logically we configured, but that VLAN source is not available in this switch. In this switch, we don't have that source. So before that, make sure you should have to configure the VLAN also. Config T. So how will configure VLAN 10 and give name here also anything name same HR or something and exit from here and VLAN 20 and now you can check the port is status is up. Just I have configured name anything. Now you can show IP interface brief. Make sure the logical interface also up. Otherwise, you cannot. So now you can check. This is the troubleshooting methods. How we have to troubleshoot step by step. We have to check. So here, not if you are VLAN also assigned, but the port is trunk. You cannot get the particular interface that. So all the ports are trunk port only for that. So we'll later on we'll discuss the everything. So VLAN brief. So here we configured, but we not assigned this interface for the VLAN 10 or this interface for the VLAN 20. We haven't assigned. We assigned simply trunk port in between. We assigned trunk port in between. So again, we have to use one more command config T. Before that, I'll show you show IP route. So routing table is not still, we haven't checked here routing table. We have to enable the routing also. And theoretical, we discussed about that config T. So for that IP routing, only one command IP routing, just this command. That's what only and check now. Show IP route with this command, we can check our routing information. Now you can get through VLAN 10, we are getting this prefix and through VLAN 20, we are getting this prefix. So this is how we can configure, we can verify the entire thing. But now check show IP interface brief. This is the logical interface. Logical means SVI, switch virtual interface. Here you can check switch virtual interface. These are the switch virtual interfaces. SVI. Got it. Now move to the give the assigning the IP address. I'll assign two more pieces, 2 or 3 pieces, 192.168. Here 10.10 and default. Make sure you should have to give and close it. And I'll assign for this 20 PC 10 IP address is 10. One 192.168 20.1 done. Now try to ping 192.168 20.10. Yes, we can able to ping from here to here. Different location also. If you want to try to ping, yes, it will be ping also because we have a routing information also. If you want, you can check. This is a different location PC and VLAN 10 we assigned. VLAN 10 we assigned We assign the IP address. Quickly we'll finish it. So sorry. 192.168.10 dot will assign the IP 30. 10. 192.168.10 dot 1 and close it and verify from here. One ping 192.168 10 dot 10. Yes, we can able to ping from this VLAN to here same VLAN and try to ping different VLAN 20.10. Yes, we can able to ping from here to here also different VLAN also we can able to ping. Yes, this is all about the inter-VLAN routing based on the MLS multi-layer switch. If you have any queries, ask me. This is all about inter-VLAN routing. If you have any queries, ask me. Otherwise, end up this session.